I am your coach MegaLugia of the Bayern Munchlax, welcoming you back to NPL Season 2 Week 6. And today, people, we are going up against the Portland Crobats, coached by Aki. Now, make sure to like if you are hyped and subscribe if you're new. It is free. Don't worry, it's free. And you may be wondering to yourself, why am I seeing a beautiful dancing man on the screen right now? Well, let me tell you guys, it is super late right now, late as hell, and I didn't feel like busting out the lights, busting out the camera, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, you know what, let me just treat him to a Carlton dance. I'm sure they'll enjoy that. I'm sure they won't miss my face too much. So that is why you see the beautiful dancing man on the screen right now. But with all that out of the way, my friends, we are here for the team builder, like I said, going up against the Portland Crobats, coming off a win last week versus the Columbus Carnivores. If you guys haven't seen that, I recommend it. We picked up a clean win. I was very scared for that match, but we managed to come out on top. But like I said, at the end of that battle, half my mind was prepping for this week's game, because oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, do we have a very tough battle against an equally tough opponent. He is also 3-2, but his team is just straight scary. So you know what, let's jump into it. He has a Mega Aggron, Victini, Weavile, a Selgor, Crobat, Nidoqueen, Aromatisse, Hitmontop, Lopunny, Tangrowth, and Mr. Rotom Wash. Now, as soon as you see this team, I'm sure you can feel my pain. It is very hard to deal with. He has a cape, he has a mix of bulky threats that are really hard to take down, and the boy has some offense as well. So I had a very hard time prepping for this game. Kind of why it's so late as to why I'm recording this, because man, I came up with so many different teams, so many different concepts, trying to see what would be the best way to face this team. And honestly, there's no perfect team. It's going to highly depend on what he brings, and hopefully I picked excuse me, hopefully I picked the right team, and we are blessed by RCs above, and we can come out with a W. So let's look at his Mega first of all. He's got the Mega Aggron. This thing isn't too good in standard play, but in league format, oh my god, I think this thing is one of the best Megas you can get, because it's so damn bulky and it can fill a role on your team that not many mons can fill. It's very rarely O-code by one move. You're gonna at least need to hit this thing with two moves where you can O-code and get up rocks and get up a really hard hit before it goes down. It's really hard to prep around. And you know, with that ability filter, then that ability filter, oh my god, I'm slurring my words. It can take a combination of very high super effective hits, and it's so bulky on the special side and the physical side, and don't sleep on its attack as well. And it has a good support moves like Stealth Rock, Thunder Wave, Taunt, and Rest if it wants to get recovery, Heavy Slam, Earthquake, Power Up Punch, Avalanche. So this is very difficult for my team, and probably the best check to my Mega Gardevoir, because Focus Blast, I think, is a 3-hit KO, if not 4-hit KO, and I have to hit that move. So this thing just scares my Mega Gardevoir out of the park, as well as the rest of his mons. Next up, my friends, oh, I'm getting tired just thinking of his mons. He's got Victini. This thing is a nuke. Choice Banded Victini just destroys through any monster, any mon on my team, and even Gyarados, right? If I bring a physically defensive Gyarados, you know, I can take a V-Create. Guess what? He can hit me with a Bolt Strike. Alright, let me bring potentially my Heatran. Oh, guess what? There goes an EQ. Alright, let me bring one of my ground types. Oh, Energy Ball, Mienshao, Zen Headbutt. This thing just wrecks through my team. I'm honestly hoping he brings Banded, because he's not going to be able to switch up his moves, and it'll be easier to work around. But he could easily bring Life Orb, Choice Scarf, Expert Belt, anything like that. Sub Leftovers, Trick Room. Very hard to prep around, but honestly, there's no perfect way to prep around this mon. I just have to hope that I can take one hit with one of my mons, come in, revenge it, because of the speed drop from V-Create. So we're gonna have to work around, and Victini's gonna be a pain to deal with. Next up, he has the Weavile. Again, very hard hitting. Knock off an Ice Crash, doing a ton against my team. Pursuit Trapping, he can Swords Dance. Very risky, very high speed as well. So this is also one of the mons that scares out my Mega Gardevoir, because even an Ice Crash or a knockoff comes very close to O-killing my Mega Gardevoir. Of course, he does outspeed and also has access to Poison Jab, so I do have to watch out for that. That's Weavile. I'm definitely expecting this thing to come, but we'll have to see in the match what kind of set he brings. Next up, he has the fastest mon in the game, well, between us right now. He has the Selgor. Very scary mon, because of its ability to set up hazards like spikes. Also has the ability to go for Final Gambit, because he's gonna outspeed all of my mons, and he can lower my HP very low. Bug Buzz, Energy Ball has some good coverage as well. I believe it gets Taunt, I am not sure, but a Selgor is very risky, and if I see him leading with a Selgor, then I'm 100% knowing that he's going to lead. I mean, if he brings a Selgor to team matchup, I know he's going to lead off with that thing, and I'm going to have to go with my dedicated lead if I see that. So I'm very scared of the Selgor, and yeah, not much else to say about that threat. Moving on, we have another threat. You see a common theme right here, just threats on threats on threats. We have the Brave Bat, we have Nightwing, we have Batman, we have Crobat. This thing is also very diverse. He could bring it as a choice band instead with Brave Bird, U-turn, Cross Poison for my Mega Gardevoir. Mega Gardevoir just poor her, man. She just cries this match. He could also bring it as a defensive set with Roost, Defog, Toxic, Super Fang. So I do have to watch out for that. Very, very high speed set as well. He has a very high amount of speed and a low amount of speed on his team as well. So it's very difficult to protect around the speed tiers. But his Crobat definitely outspeeds everything on my team. Potentially bringing a Scarf to outspeed my Scarf Mienshao, who could hit it with a hard Stone Edge, but you never know. I do not know what he's going to bring, because he could easily just bring a defensive set and slap Defog on this thing, but if he brings out with a Selgor, it may be a bit counterproductive to get rid of the spike, so I do not know. Next up, he has the Nidoqueen. Very scary as well. Can set up Stealth Rocks, can be defensive, can be special or physical with a combination of moves, and if he brings Thunderbolt, Sludge Wave, Earth Power, and maybe Focus Blast, then, or EQ even, then he's going to wreck through my team, because that combination of moves just wrecks through my team, as a lot of his mons do. Next up, he has Aromatisse, very bulky mon. I'm not sure if it's going to come, it may come, can set up, you know, Calm Minds, Wish, Protect, Toxic, those kind of shenanigans. Very defensive mon, kind of one-dimensional what it does. Could set up Trick Room as well, but if he does bring it, I pretty much know what's going to do. Next up, he has the Hitmontop, his only option for the Rapid Spin, so if he wants to bring a Selgor and that in combination to get rid of the hazards, that would be a likely scenario. Has good abilities as well, you know, the Intimidate, the Technician, it can have access to close combat, Mach Punch, Bullet Punch, Fake Out, so a lot of priority. Sucker Punch as well. If this thing comes, I potentially for it to be Assault Vest. He also could bring a Life Orb set to do a lot of damage and put dents in my team, but that is him on top, pretty sure, or you know, 50-50 on this thing gonna come. Next up is the Lopunny. Thank God this thing is not a Mega Lopunny, but it's still very dangerous because it has a very annoying ability. If you guys don't know, this thing has Klutz. Now you may be thinking, what the hell is Klutz gonna do? I'm about to tell you. This thing could run Klutz with a Toxic Orb or a Burn Orb. So Klutz makes it so that your item has no effect to you, so he could run that item and go for Fling and fling it on to one of my mons, which would be very annoying. I mean, Lopunny is very fast, doesn't hit as hard as his Mega obviously, but has access to moves like Teeter Dance, it has Healing Wish, has Baton Pants, Agility, so I do have to watch out for that. And you know what, I'm not sure if he's going to bring this as well. Next up, he has the Tangrowth, one of the mons I wanted in the initial draft of the season. Very bulky on the special side and physical side because of the Assault Vest, and it hits really hard as well. Very low speed, so I will be able to take advantage of that, but has a number of coverage moves like Sleep Powder, Knockoff, Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Leaf Storm, Rock Slide, Earthquake. So you would think my Heatran can, you know, 1v1 this thing, but if this thing wants to survive with a cheeky Assault Vest, I think it goes for EQ, then bye-bye Heatran. So gotta watch out for the Tangrowth. I'm pretty sure this thing is gonna come. Last but certainly not least, he has probably the biggest threat to my team. You heard that right. Not the Victini, not the Weavile, not the Nidoqueen, the Rotom, because combination of Thunderbolt, Hydro Pump, and Hidden Power Grass annihilates my team. Because, my friends, Volt Switch gets rid of my Gyarados, Hydro Pump gets rid of my Heatran. He can bring Will-O-Wisp as well for my physical attackers like my Mienshao. And he has Hidden Power Grass. Hidden Power Grass is because if he doesn't bring it, he's walled by my Seismitoad, right? So he has no reason. I am 100% sure if this thing comes, it's going to have Hidden Power Grass. So I very much have to work around the Rotom, because whenever I bring something in, say I kill something on his team, he can bring the Rotom in and potentially revenge kill me, because he's going to have good coverage for the rest of my team. So I very much had to prep around that. I didn't want to give Rotom any free switch-ins, as well as Victini and his Weavile as much as I could. I wanted to limit the free switch-ins to like a mon that I bring in that deals no damage or is very not scary to one of his mons, he can bring it in and get a free switch. And so that's how I went around building this team. Like I said, I had probably 20 different teams to come up with. I really want to win this week, so that's why I had so many different teams to prep for. But in all honesty, there's no perfect team. So with all that said, can't even speak properly, man. It is late as hell. We are going to move on to my team, and ladies and gentlemen, the first one on our team is Wrath, our Gyarados, coming to every single match, and this week is no different. Jolly, Moxie, this week not bringing the Intimidate set. We are going all out offensive. Moxie with the Choice Scarf, Waterfall Crunch, Facade, and Toxic. Max attack with enough speed to outspeed a max speed Jolly Choice Scarf, with Timid or Jolly Choice Scarf Nidoqueen. You see the waterfall there, obviously very self-explanatory. Water stab hitting very hard against the rest of his team, except for the Tangrowth, but we have ways around that. Crunch as well to hit the Victini in case we want to hit that thing for super effective, you know, predicting a switch out or anything like that. And also hits the Tangrowth neutrally. And Facade, because of this thing, if I'm in versus the Rotom, and potentially if he expects me to switch out, right, why wouldn't I switch out with a Gyarados versus a Rotom? He wants to go for the Will-O-Wisp, predicting a switch out. We can get the Facade boost, and now we are hitting very hard with that boost, because obviously Facade ignores the burn damage. And the last move is Toxic, because early on in the game, if I bring on the Gyarados, he has no reason not to switch in his Rotom, so I will go for Toxic, get that thing poisoned, and then switch on out, and he might not expect it. So that is Wrath, our Gyarados. Hopefully can put up the work this game and pick off a late game sweep. Next up, my friends, I did not mention we have a number of new acquisitions this week, as we dropped our Skunk Tank, we dropped our Salamence, and we also dropped our I can't actually remember the mon. I feel sorry for that mon. We dropped the Lantern. So Salamence, Lantern, and Skunk Tank are gone, and we picked up 3 new acquisitions. And spoilers, all 3 of them are going to be featuring this week. And the first up of that is our Shiftery Sensei, Giga Drain, Dark Pulse, Extrasensory, Sucker Punch, 28 attack, 252 special attack, and 228 speed. Chlorophyll with a mild nature and a Life Orb. So this thing is very crucial to picking up a win this week, because we're pretty much going to be going hyper offense this week. I can tell you from now. Giga Drain, our best way to handle the Rotom with a Life Orb to a physically defensive set. This does around 80 to 96%, something like that. So after Stealth Rocks, we can OHKO this thing, and you know, Hydro Pump, Volt Switch, you know, it's gonna do a good amount of damage to us, even though it's resisted, because Shiftry has piss poor defenses. But you know, we're gonna have to work around that. I also wanted to bring a special set this week, because if he wants to Will-O-Wisp me with his Rotom, then I need to be able to still hit that thing hard. That's why we have the Giga Drain, Dark Pulse for stab to hit the Victini, and it does a good amount of damage to the Mega Aggron, and Extrasensory for the Crobat on a predicted switch and does around 75%, so we can OHKO it after Rock. Sucker Punch there for priority as well to handle the Victini as well as his other threats, so that is very nice to have. I'm hoping this thing puts in a lot of work, and hoping for it to have a very nice debut. Next up, we have Kirim, the Choice Specs, Modest, Draco Meteor, Ice Beam, Dragon Pulse, Focus Blast with enough speed to outspeed a max speed Modest Nidoqueen, as a lot of my mons are actually going to be based around, as well as the Shifter I didn't mention has enough speed to outspeed max speed Modest Nidoqueen, because I don't really see him bringing Timid this week. So if he does bring Timid Choice Scarf, then we're in a lot of trouble, but you know, what can you do? So we, like you see, we are Modest with Choice Specs, and we put huge dents on his team. Draco Meteor, Ice Beam, Dragon Pulse just wrecking through. And the last move that you see here is Focus Blast. You may be expecting me to go for the Earth Power, and see, I wanted Earth Power, but Earth Power was around a 2-hit KO, potentially 3-hit KO versus this Mega Aggron, so I decided to go Focus Miss. I'm hoping this thing lands in the match, because after Rocks we can OHKO that Mega Aggron, and I am hoping we land the Focus Blast. So leave a like, and hopefully that like will go a long way and let your boy land the Focus Blast. So that was Kirim, my Sub-Zero, very hard hitting, potentially picking up a kill every time it comes in. Whew! Next up, we have the next acquisition on the team that we picked up from the Sin City Raptors. We traded our Salamence, and we have Entei, my friends. Entei, spoilers, is one of my favorite Pokemon ever. After watching the Pokemon 3 movie, I just fell in love with Entei, and that's kind of why the nickname is Father. If you guys get that, let me know. We are rocking Sacred Fire, Extreme Speed, Stone Edge, Toxic with the Choice Band, Adamant, because there's no way. Don't fix it if it's not broken. Max HP. Oh, that is completely wrong. Forgive me, guys. Bit of an editing mistake. We are max attack. I believe 164 speed, enough speed to outspeed a max speed modest Nidoqueen. So Nidoqueen or Rotom, something like that, but excuse me on the editing mistake. It is late, guys, it is late. But we have Sacred Fire, Extreme Speed, Stone Edge, obviously very self-explanatory. Sacred Fire, if I see the Acelgor lead, this is my dedicated lead. Hopefully go for the Sacred Fire, bring it down to its burn and get it, bring it down to its sash and get it burned, because that will eliminate it and that will make my life much easier, limiting it to the amount of hazards it can stack. Toxic is there early game as well if he wants to switch into the Rotom, because it takes no damage from this thing. We go for the Toxic, get it Toxic and switch out of there into something that can handle. So that was Father, our Entei. I'm very excited that we have it on our team, and honestly, Salamence, you will be missed, but I think Entei is going to put in a lot more work. The fifth member on our team, we have Hephaestus, our Heatran, rocking Sunny Day, Fire Blast, Earth Power, and Solar Beam. 4 HP, max special attack, max speed, flash fire with a Timidator this week, holding the Expert Belt. Now this is one of my other ways to handle the Rotom. You may be wondering, how the hell is this going to handle the Rotom? It's a fire type. Well, let me tell you. When I have Heatran in versus one of his mons, what reason does he not have to switch into the Rotom? Nothing at all. He cannot get hit by an Earth Power. Fire Blast is going to do nothing. That's why we go for the Sunny Day. Cannot speak today at all. Go for the Sunny Day, hit him up with the Solar Beam, and we OHKO him from there because of the special attack investment and the Expert Belt as well. Enough speed to outspeed a max speed timid Nidoqueen. Basing a lot of my speed tiers around that, because we're not going to outspeed his really fast mons, and we already outspeed his slow mons, so that's why we have that. Hopefully this picks up a lot of KOs, because the combination of this Fire Blast can OHKO the Aggron, can OHKO the Earth Power, can OHKO the Nidoqueen, Solar Beam can OHKO the Rotom, Fire Blast can OHKO the Tangrowth, Earth Power has a good chance to OHKO the Victini after Stealth Rock, so I'm very confident in this. This is also our, so he can't spam his V-Crate with the Victini. We can switch into this and potentially scare him out. So that is Hephaestus, our Heatran. Very excited for it, and hopefully it can pick up a lot of kills this week and put in the work that I wanted to do when I initially drafted it. Rounding out our team, my friends, we have our last acquisition from the free agency, Vaseline, our Skunk, our Toxicroak. Initially dropped this for the Skunk tank, rocking the Gunk Shot, Vacuum Wave, Knockoff, Super Fang, 4 HP, 164 attack, 28 defense, 124 special attack with 188 speed, Jolly, Dry Skin, rocking the Life Orb. So a very intricate moveset, EV spread, and all that stuff. So let me go over the moveset first. We have Gunk Shot to hit the Tangrowth as well as everything else neutrally that is not immune to it. Vacuum Wave, because after Stealth Rocks and even before Stealth Rocks, we have a very high chance to OHKO the Weavile with the Vacuum Wave priority. Knockoff, because it's very nice to get rid of items against the rest of his team. And Super Fang, because he will probably want to switch in maybe his Crobat or his Tangrowth, Rotom, or his Aggron, any one of his bulky mons early on in the game versus this thing. So we go for Super Fang, bring it down to 50 HP. Hopefully we don't miss this move, because I miss accurate moves more than I miss low accurate moves. So that's why we have the Super Fang. The EV spread, 164 attack, so we can hit as hard as we can with the Gunk Shot and Knockoff. 124 special attack was needed to make sure that we can get the OHKO on the Weavile, as well as not sacrificing our speed, which allows us to outspeed a max speed modest or timid Nidoqueen. I'm gonna have to make sure I double check that, but that's why we have the speed. And the 28 defense is so that we are not OHKO'd by an Ice Shard from a Life Orb Adamant Weavile after Stealth Rocks. Yep, that's why we have that. We are Jolly, like I said, and we have the Dry Skin because we, in combination with the Heatran, Victini cannot go for V-Crates versus us because of the Flash Fire, and Rotom cannot spam Hydro Pump because of the Dry Skin absorbing the Water type moves. Life Orb to hit as hard as we can. Wanted Black Sludge, but honestly the output from the Life Orb just helps a shit ton. So that is rounding out our team, ladies and gentlemen. I think this was a bit of a long team builder, but I felt it was necessary because this team is just super scary, and honestly, I'll be honest with you guys, if you made it this far into the video, then you're gonna know I think we're going to pick up an L this week. We're going to go home with a loss. But, you know, I'm going to try my best. I want this win. I tried as hard as we can. Like you see, we have no hazard removal. We have no Skarmory. We have no Claydol because I could not sacrifice any slots on my team for those mons because they're too passive, and it brings in a free switch into any of his mons. If I bring the Skarmory, that is a free switch into his Weavile, his Victini, and his Rotom. If I bring the Claydol, that is a free switch into his Victini and his Rotom and his Weavile as well. So could not bring hazard removal. I had to risk it, but hopefully it pays off. He does not know that we don't have defog on the Shiftry. Potentially could have it, so he may be hesitant to go for hazards there. But that is our team, ladies and gentlemen. Whew, bit of a tough match, kind of scared. Like I said, make sure to drop a like to show your support. Let me know how you think we're gonna do. Come back tomorrow for the match, and until next time, guys, it has been your boy MegaLugia here, checking out. I am probably gonna go to sleep right after this. Checking out. Until next time, peace.